Hi, Paulina. It's nice to see you working hard for your IELTS preparation again. It's great news that your IELTS center is opening. That's wonderful news. So then let's get you going with your IELTS preparation, and let's help you get that 7. So let's take a look at this essay. Taking family with you when you go abroad for business. Let's see what you said. Okay, modern people spend the vast majority of their lives at work, and an opportunity to take family members on work trips could be beneficial for interfamily relationships. I prefer that than interfamily human. That's a little too much. Interfamily relationships and financial well-being of the family. Yet there could be severe drawbacks such as financial loss for the company and decrease in employees' productivity. Here you could have just done employee productivity, where employee just acts as the adjective without that plural possessive. In my opinion, relatives might accompany I don't know about this word might. I have a question mark here. In my opinion, relatives should accompany business. No, you have to accompany somebody. So relatives should accompany family members on business journeys abroad because it is an excellent chance to save time and money and also have some rest time together outside the home. That's the expression, outside the home. So I like everything you wrote. The grammar and some of the lexis need to be cleaned up a little bit, but in terms of structure, in terms of ideas, all of that was really well done. All right, let's move on. Okay, as long as many companies cover all expenses for official trips, including hotel stay, food, and car rent, maybe car rental, I don't know why you wrote it duty vacation. Such vacations could be more cost-effective for a family budget. Moreover, this type of duty traveling makes family holidays possible despite the fact that an actual vacation is not always available. For instance, a recent study by the USA government showed that 4 out of 10 employees choose to work all year long without any long-term rest. This is because many of them are willing to ensure financial prosperity and well-being of their families. However, a long separation from beloved people due to international business trips could be challenging for harmonious relationships. Therefore, having somebody from the immediate family accompanying work on work trips is a perfect chance to get a good rest together as well as accomplish business tasks. Okay. Let's look at this paragraph a little bit. You said that you started off here saying that you went right into your idea basically, and you said that companies cover all of these expensive and therefore it's more expensive. It's less expensive for the family. And then you said it makes a family holiday possible when an actual vacation is not available. I didn't really see how your next sentence really fit in here. You basically said that most people don't take a vacation. I thought you could have had a piece of support that was a little more linked to what you said, because this kind of felt like it was going in a different direction. I actually thought some of these needed a little more development. So, for example, you said that it's more cost-effective for a family budget. So explain that to me, all right? Maybe you could have said something like, for example, many surveyed families said that their business trips allowed them to visit places together as a family that on their own they could not afford to visit. All right? That's one piece of support you could have used. Let's see. Yeah, so I didn't really understand this totally. So, and then here, a long separation from beloved people. We don't really say beloved people, we say from loved ones. And I also felt like, yeah, so here, this whole thing about like ensuring financial prosperity, I didn't understand really how it fit in. So some of this was confusing to me. I feel like you kind of put in more detail in places where you shouldn't have, and you didn't include it in places where you should have. So you were kind of developing the wrong ideas. So let's just look at it one more time. I would have said what I had mentioned before about, that people were able to visit places with their families because of business trips that otherwise they could not visit, okay, because some of the expenses were covered by the company, okay? And then I felt like a lot of this, I just didn't really understand it. What you could have said here is that, furthermore, many employees found that their relationships were strengthened within their family because of taking their family on business trips. In a recent report of people who traveled for work, those who didn't take their families with them said that their relationship struggled, whereas people who did take their families with them reported greater satisfaction with their relationships. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that would make more sense here. I feel like you kind of developed it. You were trying to fill in your paragraph and you're trying to write a lot of things, but some of it I didn't really feel was really pinpointed, really focused on what you were supposed to be talking about in this essay. Okay, let's move on a little bit. Nevertheless, such family business vacations, that's awkward. We wouldn't really say this. We would either call them business vacations or family. Well, you wouldn't call them business vacations either. You would call them family vacations or business trips. Okay. One way you could have combined this was by saying some business trips that double as family vacations. Okay. That would have been appropriate. Could cost the company a fortune. This is largely because employees tend to spend more money if they travel with their family. As a consequence, many of them claim their personal expenses as work-related expenditures. Good. Furthermore, temptation to visit sites of the foreign country or go shopping are much higher if there's somebody to share these with. As a result, work tasks are completed in a hurry or procrastinated. For instance, in recent research from, careful with your typing, the Oxford University illustrates that 32% of surveyed employees cannot concentrate on a task when they travel when they travel on business to a foreign country with their family. Consequently, abused family, I don't like this abused family. It's like their family is abused. That's not what you mean. Consequently, such work trips, that's all you needed to say. Such work trips could bring the company's budget spiraling out of control alongside inefficient work performance. That was good, and I like this paragraph. I thought your supports were really good. I thought your main ideas were really good. So this was a much more tightly organized, tightly constructed paragraph. I don't know if you can understand the difference between the two, but this, I felt you really pinpointed the issue at hand and you really tackled it very well. So this was nice. I like this paragraph, okay? So in conclusion, although there are many negative factors, in my opinion, family, business trips, careful again, this isn't really a real expression. You could have just said family members on business trips, and that would have been fine. Could bring many positive developments to employees' personal lives. Thus, this modern trend should be supported by employers and taken into account as an important evolutionary step in business culture. Oh, what a nice last paragraph. I liked a lot of the vocabulary used. This modern trend, business culture, evolutionary step. That was great. That's a lot of nice language. And you know what? It's really smart to use language like this at the end because it leaves such a nice, strong impression at the end of your essay. So I really like that. Okay, so just to recap, basically, I thought that this paragraph was a little weak in terms of its development and in terms of it, not so much its structure. I mean, the structure was okay, but I felt the way you developed it, you kind of didn't really have a well organized, well-developed, really kind of tight paragraph. That changed here. I thought you did really well there. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, and as far as grammar is concerned, there were grammar mistakes. You could see that I consistently found them. I consistently commented that this was a grammar mistake and so forth. So that's something you really need to worry about. And kind of take care to improve that. The vocabulary was good though, especially that last bit was really, really lovely. Okay, you did have some inaccuracies, so things like abused family work trips or family business trips. A lot of that was a little awkward and didn't really fit in. But so I want you to be careful with some of that as well. Okay, let's move on. All right, this is about rain in the UK. Let's see. The line graph illustrates the dynamic of monthly rainfall change. I don't know about this expression, it's a little strange. How about the line graph illustrates the monthly rainfall change, much simpler, much cleaner, in England, Scotland, and Wales over 2018. Full stop. Don't write year here. Overall, it can be seen that the level of rains was fluctuating from month to month in all three countries. However, it is obvious that one of the most humid months was in July 2018. Okay, fine. I don't know about humid. Humid is like when it's damp but not really raining. So I don't think actually humid is the right word here. You could have used, let's see, what word could you have said here? One of the dampest, maybe. That would have been okay. The dampest months, that would have been fine. But let's move on. Yeah, dampest months across the region would have been a nice way to say this. Let's see. Yeah, because this is why I say this. Look at the figure here for Scotland. Scotland has two other highs. This is not even actually a high for Scotland. It's got this and this here. So be careful with that. What else could you have said? You could have said that while all three areas had considerable fluctuation throughout the year, England on average had the highest rainfall. You can see that it doesn't have any of these lows that the other two areas have. Okay, so in England, the amount of rains, I don't know why you keep using plural, just use singular, it would have been much better. In England, the amount of rain was the most stable if compared with a D with the others. Thus, it was fluctuating from 115 ml in February to 90 in March, and then this needs to be an E, not an A, increased back to 114 ml in April. May and June were the driest months in this country with 30 ml and 25 ml of rain respectively. In contrast, July, September, and December were the most, you could have said the wettest here, really, the wettest during 2018, with the top level of rainfalls around 125 ml in each month. Okay, so let's see what you decided to talk about here. You decided to talk about February, March, April, May, June, July, September, and December. You decided to talk about 8 of the months here. Okay, we're just going to keep that as a note in the back of our head. Let's see what you said in the next paragraph. In the beginning of the year, there was a sharp decline in the rainfall level in Scotland from 115 ml in January to 23 in February. However, during the next month, it peaked at 135, the same amount of rain as in October. The summer months were considerably more stable, with a maximum level of 115 in July and the minimum 75 in August. Okay, fine. The amount of rain was noticeably lower in Wales in the beginning of 2018, whereas May was significantly more rainy, 150 ml, than in other countries. The rain level peaked in July. Let's see something. May, July. Okay, and 135. Okay, here right at 135 ml, followed by the plateau starting from, careful with your typing, August and finishing in October with around 45 ml of rain in each month. Okay, I thought you did really well here. I thought you picked out a lot of interesting information. You picked out a lot of the information that you needed to pick out, but not entirely all the months that I thought were really, really important. So when you have a chronological graph like this, and that chronological graph can be a bar chart as well, think of it as a story. Okay, you're looking at a year, and the story that they're telling you here is how much it rained in that year. So when you hear a story, what elements do you want to hear? You want to hear the beginning of the story. Of course, you want to hear the end of the story, and you want to hear some of the main parts, the most important features of that story. So, with that in mind, and I want you to keep this in mind in general for IELTS Task 1, those are some of the key points you need to include here. You didn't include all the points, and I thought you did really well with that. But if you asked me what I thought the key points were here, I would say, if we're talking about England, I would say point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5. Why? Because you've got the beginning, the end, the low, and then these peaks. Okay? So you really need to talk about essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points in that entire thing about England. Then, if you go to Scotland, the points you have to talk to. Beginning, point 1. Low, point 2. Peak, point 3 and 4. And then point 5 here, your end. If you look at whales, you've got point 1, point 2, point 3. I would even include this plateau as point 4, and then point 5. So really you need to be talking about 15 pieces of data here. Those for me are the important features in this chart and the ones that need to be included here. I thought you did a pretty good job of this, of selecting which ones were important. But again, I thought you could have potentially done even better with this. So those are the kinds of things you need to pick out. Think about the highs, think about the lows, and think about the other really interesting periods of time that occur here. All right, nice job in general. Keep going. I'm glad that you're back at preparing for IELTS. So let's see more essays from you. Looking forward to it. Okay, good luck.